What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and this one I'm going to talk about what's going on with the overall market, what you should be watching for moving forward. I'm also going to break down the technicals on SPY and break down something very important you need to watch for when it comes to the way the market's moving. I'm going to talk about other stocks as well, but before I do anything like that, let me just mention a couple of things. Firstly, I am not a financial planner, so take none of this as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull, the link down below, and deposit any amount of money into the account, you are guaranteed up to 12 free stocks. The offer ends very soon, so check it out before they run out. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. All right, so on SPY, max pain happens to be around 449, and so far SPY is holding up quite decently. It didn't really pump very hard or even come down very hard. It's been pretty sideways for the majority of the day. Now, we were up about like 0.13%, very close to open. And since then, we saw SPY just pump a little bit more, only about 0.2%. But for the most part, it's been pretty much like a trend day, not really doing anything too crazy, right? Because we opened in the 449s, very close to 450, and we're currently at 450.74. So very flat overall. It's not like that. A little bit more upside than downside, obviously, but it's pretty flat. So the real question is, how are we going to continue to move? And this is what I'm basically eyeing right now. There's a possible head and shoulders that could be developing for a reversal, but there's no guarantees of it just yet. And we're going to see how it reacts to this 451.36 area, or at least the 451 area, if we do get very close to that. So we're going to be watching that very carefully. Do we reject or do we keep going? Because if it breaks this high right here, it has the potential to go all the way up to the 452s if we break above 451.36. But if we reject and we fail to get above 451.36, just right about here, then we could be forming a potential head and shoulders on SPY for a potential reversal. Now, on the smaller time frames, we have some signals suggesting it's a possibility. They're not always 100% accurate, but a lot of the times, or the majority of the times, they do tend to be accurate when you look at SPY in this manner. And that is based off the RSI. We are seeing a declining RSI while the price is making higher highs, which is showing some weakness on the 5-minute time frame. The 3 minutes time frame is showing the same thing. You could see a declining RSI, once again forming this divergence. The 1 minute is showing the same thing as well. On the 1 minute time frame, the RSI just continued to decline over and over again. It's been on a downtrend, although market continues to pump to the upside. It's a very slight pump. It's not like a major crazy pump, because once again, we opened very close to this like 450 area, and we're currently at 450.8. So we haven't really moved like way too much, but it's just worth noting. So we're going to be watching how does this move. Now, I'm going to be seeing, do we reject off this very important level on SPY? So go on the 1 hour time frame. And here's another very important thing. Let me close these. Sorry about that. Anyways, when looking at this potential, head and shoulders like pattern that could be developing on SPY, if we hypothetically do get some kind of like flush down, right, over the next day or so or anything like that, if we break now below the 1 hour 50 EMA around this 448 level, if that fails, this thing is going to get a big rug pull all the way down to 446. It's going to come fast. Okay, so that's going to be just a warning for you guys. Now looking at this trend, that's what this is suggesting. Not saying it will happen. I'm just saying, like, hypothetically, if that were to be the case. And now, okay, let's all just be very, very careful and watch and see how SPY reacts to this level, because 451, the entire zone, is very important. We're getting very close to it. Will we reject and fail to break this high, or are we about to break it and just continue to pump? Really depends on how it's looking. Right now, it is looking like it's trying to hold up, but everything could change during the final hour, depending on how things look. So I just wanted to note that about SPY. For Tesla, I told you guys this thing was looking quite nice. We're actually up at 2% right now. It's currently at 288, very close to 290. Still, Tesla's holding up. And we got a nice pump to about 292 in the morning, came a little bit down, and overall it's still trying to hold up. The problem with Tesla, though, is we are getting some negative news from the media about how their margins are just not looking that great. There was also news about an investigation for Tesla that could be happening by the SEC. So all these pieces of news are affecting it to some degree, but it's still trying to hold up. So it's kind of like mixed between trying to pump while the bad news is slowing it down. It's kind of stuck in the middle, but it's still trying to hold up for the time being. So if it breaks above this 290 area, we're going to be watching that as our next resistance zone. Get above that, and we're going to be watching 292 as the next resistance. If it gets above this high it made right here, it has the potential to go all the way up to almost 295 or so if we do get that break up. For support, we have some nice support in this 285 area, so right about here. very, very close to that. And then below that, Tesla has the next support at 282.8 and then 280. So far, it's trying to hold up as the market is trying to pump, but we're going to be watching what happens to SPY. Could this thing continue to break that high or not? That's going to have a big effect on it. The news came out that Apple got another price upgrade from Morgan Stanley that's causing Apple to pump the way it is. That's helping the market hold up, at least for the time being. However, the RSI has been declining and making lower highs, so it is forming a divergence, and we will see if we get a rejection from this level. We're very close to our next resistance zone on Apple. We're going to be watching that very carefully. We have some resistance right at where we are right now, 193.5. And also 195 is going to be another important one, and 194. Resistance is very tight on Apple, so that's going to be very impactful for the markets. So we're going to be watching this very carefully. A break below 192.5 is going to send Apple down to 190.85. So 192.5 is your key support, and 193.5 is our key resistance. We're going to be watching how Apple reacts. That is going to affect the entire market. Finally, for the triple Q, this thing, once again, it came down in the morning, started pumping a bit. We're testing our 382 resistance. But one thing worth noting is we didn't get all the way up to 382.86. So could this be forming a very, very nice pump to the upsides, trying to make our way up to 384? Are we about to do that? In order to do this, we're going to be testing this resistance right here, 382.86. If we manage to break 382, watch 382.86. Break down, we're going to be seeing 384. If it fails to do this, if we get a rejection off this 382 area, it's going to come all the way back down, potentially to 381.11. And if that fails us, there's 380, 379, 377.82, and other levels like that. Nvda has been holding up. It's actually doing quite well, trying to hold above our 50 EMA on the 1 hour time frame. I told you that there's a good chance that we're going to see buyers try to step in for Nvidia because of the bullish news that came out. But the market, if it does start slowing down over the next few days, that could still slow Nvidia down temporarily. But I'm still very bullish as we approach August nonetheless. And I do believe it's going to break $500 before August ends, or at least approaching its earnings. AMD is holding up as a result of that. Coinbase came down a little bit. Very interesting to witness. And Meta came down very, very close to our 4 hour 50 EMA, came very close to this target right here. I managed to hold above support, and so far it's looking pretty decent, trying to hold up. I was thinking I would come a little bit lower to about 300, then try to bounce. Actually bounced off 304 instead. But overall, it is trying to hold up. It's getting kind of tight. I'm going to be careful because this bounce is not a true confirmation of when looking at the 4 hour time frame. This could be still a downtrend on Meta, and we're going to be watching this 50 EMA very carefully as time goes on. So anyways, guys, I think I went on about almost every stock that's very significant for the time being. Let's see how SPY reacts. We're getting very close to our 451 resistance. Could we break this high? Are we about to test it? Are we about to break it? Or are we about to get a big rejection? You have to be very careful. Max Payne's at 449. So watch it carefully and keep this in your mind, and we're going to see which way it goes. We have almost 2 hours left until the market closes. So just be careful, watch for the direction, and be very patient on a day like this. All right, guys. Thank you for listening. Have a great day. Remain calm, cool, and collected. And remember to hunt for opportunities. Do not chase. Be patient. Thank you. Have a good one. Market to the moon, and peace out.